Buongiorno. We are in front of the Palazzo Don Orion, known to many Caglis as the Palazzo X Don Orion because of the reconstruction it has undergone. The Palazzo X Don Orion was a vocational high school called the Don Orion Institute. Here is Gianpiero Ciccoli, hard at work. He is currently working with a machine that helps clean floors.
This, even though it wasn't one of the most prestigious historical palaces of Cagli, it was what's called vinculato. That means that there are these vincoli architettonici of construction. Vincoli means restrictions on what you can do to it. You can't come into any old historic building in Italy and just do what you want with it. You have to, the vincoli provide rules and regulations about what you can do. And the rules and regulations are there to keep you from taking a historic building and making it into a McDonald's. They're codes that demand that you respect certain architectural conditions that are historic and traditional ones.
Lucio Guerra is a technical advisor for the Comunità Montana, which is the public administrative body that owns the building. Here he discusses the many challenges he has had to face while reconstructing this antique building.
Even for companies, they're not interested in buying these buildings because they cost too much to fix up and they can't be fixed up to make best use, maximum use of the space. This makes it a profitable space. That is why these buildings, when they do get bought and remodeled, it's usually public entities that do it because it doesn't make economic sense, business sense, for private entities to buy these buildings and spend so much money to fix them up and not be able to use the space as they want to because the rules about construction in the historic buildings prevent them from doing what they would like to do with the spaces. So it's almost always either a public entity like Comunità Montana or in some cases banks. Banks that will buy a building like this and fix it up as like a showcase building to have their meetings in and have this kind of grandeur of the place where they're having their meetings. A showcase kind of building that they're not thinking of using as kind of in the basic commercial real estate way. To bring this building, up to modern standards and to make it a modern functioning office building, they have to put in, obviously, lots of stuff. Extensive electrical wiring, plumbing, the cables for telephone and internet and communications cables, and heating. And that was all put in under the floor. The floor was lifted up, taken up, and this thing was all these different elements were put down, and then not the exact same pieces because they were broken, but ones very similar to the ones that were taken up and similar to the ones that existed before, that are still in place. The problem they first had to deal with was that because this building was boarded up and unoccupied for many years, the roof leaked and water came in. So they found water damage that they had to deal with, right? The first thing they had to do was fix the roof and put new gutters. And in fact, we saw them, that's what they were finishing up doing the first days we were here when they had that big blue scaffold out there. We see that they have these new copper gutters and drain pipes. And that was the first thing they did because this room obviously has water damage. So now they can deal with water damage and not get new water damage. he says Cagli has, many of these 200 or 300-year-old buildings that are in very grave disrepair. And they're not very attractive for buyers because they've got these problems of not being able to divide the rooms because of vincoli, and they've got these accumulated years of damage. Typical characteristic of noble palaces, of a long hallway that connects a sequence of rooms.
Questa, diciamo, la parte sinistra è l'ala più nobile del palazzo, come si può vedere dalle porte, dal portale che c'era dai portali.
You can see that this was the noble residence part of the palace initially, and you can tell that by the more elaborate door frames and the fact of the fireplaces in each of the rooms.
After being closed for about 15 years, the Palazzo ex Don Orion has taken its steps towards modernization.